they did everything that was asked of them every Saturday. And I know the strength of record and all that factors in. And I just wanted to get your point on that, and then I had one other point.
Yeah, well John, we're close to the end of the hour. I'll give you a quick answer to that. Never, not a chance. I would never agree to that if I was on the Alabama side. Why should you? Because you don't owe Florida State anything. You owe your own players. You don't need to be playing an extra game when you could be having 2 more.
Life is full of ifs. If you see potential in every day, if you push for that promotion, and even bigger ifs like if you say, I do. If you can cash flow like a pro and get paid up to 2 days early, if you can safeguard against surprises and supercharge your savings, the if in life becomes less iffy. Regions Life Banking makes it possible. If you're interested.
Let's talk about the if in life. Regions Bank, embrace the if in life.
Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Today, football is a game of sound. What if you couldn't hear your coach's play calls? What if you couldn't hear the referee's whistle? For deaf and hard of hearing athletes like me, these what-ifs are a reality. But with the AT&T 5G helmet, now we can see play calls just like the other teams hear them.
Connect the player.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestvein.huntsville.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
360 presents Chris Weidman, The Return, December 17th on ESPN. Same day streaming on ESPN+.
It's in-season tournament time where 8 teams advance to conquer a brand new bracket in the new NBA.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go here on a Tuesday, live from Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Along with Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton back here with you. Got a full show today. Coming up in hour number 2, Jerry Glanville going to join us to talk a little college and NFL football with the former Falcon and Oiler coach. And coming up later on here in this first hour, David Cutcliffe. Coach Cutt is going to join us after our first time out. We're about 5 minutes away from Dan Murphy from ESPN.com. We'll get to why we're talking to Dan here in just a moment. But, Wes, I did want to play for you this audio that came out today. Brian Kelly, the man whose team played both Florida State and Alabama, was asked about that very fact today.
They're the decisions based on criteria. What do you think of it?
Well, it was probably the most difficult one that they were confronted with. But, look, we knew that there were 5 conferences from the very beginning, and there's only 4 spots. So if you did the math, you just needed to look at the 5 conference champions and say there's 4 slots. And, look, we played Florida State and we played Alabama. 2 outstanding football teams. But the 2 football teams were different at the end of the season than they were at the start of the season. So I think that from my perspective, unfortunately, Florida State was not the same team earlier in the year than they were later in the year because of the injury to the quarterback. And look, you can take that for whatever you want. But if only 4 of the conference championship teams can go, and there's 5, you're splitting hairs because they're all great teams, but only 4 can go. And there's 5 conference champions. And I think the committee had to figure out if you're going to sit one of them out, maybe it's got to be the one that lost their quarterback. And again, I don't know. I certainly didn't sit in there, but I can see where they came from with the decision that they made.
That is Brian Kelly from earlier today. How are you, Wes?
I'm doing good.
So the other big story that I did want to get to, and it's NCAA President Charlie Baker proposed a rule change today that would allow Division I schools for the first time to pay their athletes in ways they are not tied to educational resources. And Dan Murphy from ESPN.com is kind enough to join us. He penned the article over on ESPN.com of NCAA proposes rule to let schools and athletes enter NIL deals. How are you, Dan?
Hey, guys. I'm good. How are you?
Doing real well. So the fact that this is coming on the heels of it feels like once again the portal is getting flooded. Is this timing coincidental, or you think on purpose?
That's a good question. I know this is something that Charlie Baker and his immediate staff have been working on for weeks, if not months, trying to get this exact thing put together. But it is interesting timing, and that this is the time of year when a lot of people are probably banging on the NCAA's door saying, hey, we need to get a handle on these transfer rules and what's going on in the portal and the NIL payments. And in some way, this is Charlie Baker and other folks at the NCAA saying, hey, listen, if you want to put more rules in place that's going to treat these guys more like pro athletes in terms of having contracts and limits on where they can move to, then we need to start paying them more like pro athletes at the top level of this. And in a way, that's what this proposal is asking to do.
So what is the dissension? Is there any dissension on this? Have you heard? Tell me what you're hearing in terms of this story, whether or not it has legs, Dan.
So it's a major step and a major proposal in a world that does not move very quickly. And this won't move quickly either, right? Even if everybody's on board, it's still the rulemaking process takes at least a year or so to really get through it for the NCAA. But in general, the feedback has been decent. I think the most feedback has been, that's a lot. I need to digest it, and I've got a lot of questions about how this would work in practice, right? What Charlie Baker proposed today is a pretty broad strokes look at how he thinks the future of the top level of college sports should look. But a lot of the details of how that all would work and what that would generate are still yet to be determined. And in a sense, Baker put this out there to get athletic directors and university presidents and conference commissioners to sort of start asking those questions so they can answer them together and come up with a plan of exactly how they want this to look.
So you say broad strokes. It makes me think that there's not a whole lot of detail. So that also leads me to believe, Dan, that the year turnaround, we may be talking a couple of years, maybe when the new TV deal kicks in for the college football playoff. Am I thinking kind of around the same timeline?
I think that's fair. Yeah, the only thing that could speed it up is, right now they're facing a lot of pressure from Congress. They're facing a lot of pressure from different legal challenges. And if that stuff continues to move quickly down the path, this is really the NCAA's attempt to say, hey, listen, we realize we've got some issues. We are looking to fix them proactively ourselves. And so please give us the time and the space to do that without suing us into bankruptcy. And so, if that pressure keeps up, the NCAA might feel the need to act as quickly as they can. But, again, like I said, right, the NCAA is not a body known for moving very fast. So as quickly as they can might still be a year and a half, 2 years down the road before we'd actually see any of these changes take place.
Talking to Dan Murphy right now from ESPN.com on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. So the effect of NIL on collegiate sports, what's the early return on what you've heard just on that time frame? I know this kind of ties into it a little bit, but what kind of effect has this led to what Charlie Baker came out with?
Well, I think it's showed, so NIL's been in place for 2.5 full years at this point. And it showed that there is absolutely a market for college athletes. It showed that it's not going to scare fans away. We had more people watch college football games this year than in any other year in the history of the NCAA. To share that the money is there to give to players. I've heard crazy amounts of money flying around for what different players might be able to make if they enter the transfer portal. And it showed that this is an entertainment business and in many ways a professional business for a lot of these guys. And I think that's opened the door and changed the willingness to accept that for a lot of people who are in charge of college sports who 3 or 4 years ago, this kind of stuff was totally anathema. This is nothing they wouldn't have touched this with a 10-foot pole even a couple of years ago. But because we've seen how it works, and frankly, the sky hasn't fallen on college sports, even though it may be harder, a little bit more chaotic for coaches. I think they've got a little bit more comfortable with the concept, and now we're seeing the next step in the evolution. NIL was a very big step in college sports evolving into something that looks more like the pros at the very top level of college sports. And what Baker proposed today is another significant step in that direction.
It felt to me, and at least it read to me a little bit like, and please tell me if I'm wrong, Dan, of the Olympic model. It felt very similar to this Olympic model that way. Yeah, I remember back in the day, we all thought it was said it was going to be the death of the Olympics, and that was far but true. Is that fair to say that this is steering more towards the Olympic model?
Yeah, I think there are plenty of parallels to draw between the way, the Olympics and college sports are sort of the two bastions of amateurism in the sporting world in America. In ways that are pretty unique to the rest of the world. And the way that was slowly eroded and changed over time for the Olympics, it's following a somewhat similar path. I think the big difference is, so if you're a USA track and field athlete now competing in the Olympics, you might be making some money. But if you're the quarterback at Alabama or at Ohio State, it's a different level of money and a different level of interest. It's not once every 4 years. It's once, it's 13 weeks every year. And the money is bigger in college sports. So in that sense, it's different, but sort of the general trend toward one slow step at a time towards something that looks more professional is there's a lot of analogies to be drawn there.
Is this the NCAA trying to save football so it does not get severed and become an independent entity?
In some sense, yeah. What it does is, one of the things that was proposed today was creating essentially a new subdivision of the NCAA for the very richest schools, right? Mostly what we're talking about there is the power conferences. And schools would have the opportunity to opt into that subdivision or not. And if you want to play ball in that league, you have to commit to setting aside what would amount to millions of dollars to pay to your athletes directly. At least $30,000 a year for half your athletes is the way it was described. And in exchange for setting aside that money, you'd get a chance to set some other rules, create your own rules, because those schools, right, the SEC schools, the Big Ten schools, even the ACC and Big 12, they live in a different reality than the rules that govern most of the NCAA. And it's been frustrating for a lot of those big-time conferences to have to play by the same NCAA rules. Even something as simple, one of the examples that came up when I was talking to people today is look at the Michigan football team and the scandal they went through this year. And part of the reason that existed was because the college, at the college level, they don't let you put speakers and microphones and helmets to relay plays in from the sidelines. Even something simple like that is the kind of rule that this new group would be able to make and change quickly in a way. And is the kind of thing that if you're frustrated as the SEC commissioner or the running the Big Ten or one of those schools and thinking about taking your ball and leaving the NCAA and starting your own football league, this is in some way could be viewed as part of the strategy is keeping those guys happy enough and saying, hey, if you pay into this new subdivision, you can make some of these rules to make it make a little more sense for the world you're living in.
So when the NCAA meets in Phoenix for their annual convention, I guess if this is on the top of their list to talk about, I guess that would really show a lot in terms of how serious they want to move this and push this along.
Yeah, I don't think Charlie Baker would have made this public of an announcement if he didn't have a decent amount of support from people that matter in the college sports world, whether that's commissioners or some of the more powerful athletic directors out there. And I do expect, a lot of the college sports world is actually gathered in Las Vegas this week for a conference, and I expect this will come up there. I expect this will come up at the college football playoff coaches conventions and that kind of thing that happens in early January, and certainly at the NCAA convention in January, both in sort of the formal meetings where some of this stuff gets discussed, and probably more importantly, during all the happy hour get-together networking things where people are floating ideas back and forth and working through some of the details of this. I think the idea was to get this idea out there so it becomes the topic that everybody talks about and they can work out some of the details. It's not something they'll vote on in January, but I'm certain that it will be the biggest topic of conversation for all these Division I schools.
What is the biggest difference of the world we're in now compared to if this is voted in, Dan?
The schools will be paying the players directly, and that's a Rubicon that they have never been willing to cross before. And, to some degree, it will allow schools to get some control back that they've ceded to boosters and collectives and folks in the current NIL world. But I think it's schools treating players differently and players making money directly from their schools.
Wow. This is a lot to digest, but this is an ever-changing world. Dan, I appreciate you hopping on and diving into the story a little bit for us, sir.
You bet. Thanks for having me on.
That is Dan Murphy from ESPN.com on this legislation that just came down today.
So it's semantics. They're already paying the kids. right? They're just doing it through a collective. Now they're going to be able to do it through the
directly.
school.
Yes.
So
we're changing the name on the signature on the check.
This is nothing, really.
It's an illusion of control.
No question.
Maybe.
Well, they have control already. Really, they're in control of the collectives. They can act like they're not, but they are.
Yeah.
Now people are getting some of the collectives. When they first started, they were paying these guys a fee to raise the money, and I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't know.
So you think?
As you know,
well, I mean,
a lot of people approached me to do these collectives, and I would have nothing to do with it.
But I do wonder if we're going to see a time very soon at which, when a mom or dad gets a bill for Timmy or whoever to go to college, there's always that athletic support, that athletic line when you're paying said tuition to an athletic fee, whether or not there's going to be an NIL fee.
Oh, well, no.
For
the tuition, no.
For kids to go to college.
No.
You don't think
no,
it's not going to be that transparent?
No, I mean, but I don't. They have nothing to do with each other. One has to do with athletes. The other has to do with. It's a totally different place. It has nothing. Nobody's who sends their kids to college is supporting the football team. End of story. It's the other way around. They're not paying as much as they would if they didn't have a football program. So that's just. This is all semantics, though. This is the NCAA trying to act like they're doing something, but they're not really doing anything. What they need to do is forget about NIL, make NIL like it's supposed to be, and do something about them recruiting with NIL, promising NIL.
Yeah.
Make it where it's
That's
really,
what I was
truly,
hoping to read today.
Really, truly NIL.
Yeah.
Not just setting up an NIL where anybody can get it.
Hey, if you go in the portal, I'll pay you this. Hey, if you go in the portal, I'll pay you that.
Well, they're not paying them to go in the portal. They're paying them to go to their school. So the portal's just a way to get out of having the portal's just a way to facilitate what they're doing.
We do need to take an early time out here. David Cutcliffe is set to join us.
I would say that 90% of the people that actually leave, that go in the portal, know where they're going before they ever enter. That actually get taken somewhere.
Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Coach David Cutcliffe is set to join us. Jerry Glanville going to join us in hour number 2. We're live here from Mark Camara's Furniture Factory.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're the kind of value shopper who waits to the end of the year because you know that's when the deals are the best, it's here. And there's no first payment for 90 days. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford's Make the Holiday Bright sales event. And we've got the best selection of new and certified pre-owned Fords we've had in years. Right now, get financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 23 F-150s. America's best-selling truck for 47 years. 2.9 on F-150. And Woody Anderson Ford has over 100 F-150s to choose from. Great finance rates and no first payment for 90 days on all new Fords. We have financing as low as 1.9% for up to 60 months on 23 Explorer, Escape, and Bronco Sport 2. It's our year-end sales event, the best time of the year to buy, plus no first payment for 90 days. Your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends December 30th. Come by and make your holidays bright at Woody Anderson Ford. We hope to see you soon.
Watch the Alabama High School Super 7 Football Championship presented by Alabama Community College System December 6th through the 8th on Alabama Public Television. It's all the gut-wrenching, hard-hitting, high-flying action you've come to expect from...
Wait, Alabama Public Television? Okay.
Watch every game live December 6th through the 8th only on your new home for high school sports, APT.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Score big deals at Baumhauer's this football season and order from our Inflation Bites menu. Try our Buffalo Wing Special with fries and a complimentary beverage for only $9.99. And what's football without a cold beer? Our pitchers of Yingling and Yingling Flight are only $7.99, served all day, 7 days a week. And huddle up, football fans. Sign up today for our free NFL Pick'em contest at Baumhauers.com for weekly prizes. Baumhauers, legendary fun and legendary food.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road. Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. That might be a nice little tune to dance to. Who knows? Maybe Coach David Cutcliffe is jamming out in Las Vegas as we speak. And the special assistant to the commissioner for football relations, David Cutcliffe. Coach Cut is kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
Well, I am good. Vegas is an interesting place, is how I'm going to term it. I've asked my wife and I, she's on the trip, but done a lot of walking, but a lot of handshaking, a lot of events. We had a great SEC reception for our people or our men that are headed into the College Football Hall of Fame. So that was a lot of fun last night. And then tonight is the big induction.
Wow. That's Coach, I've never been in that room. What is that room like to be a part of?
Well, it can be intimidating when you're in that sports world. It's inspiring. I've been fortunate to know a lot of guys that have reached that status as players and coaches, and you are very proud of them and happy for them and their families. Last night, of course, one that I have a personal relationship with is Eric Berry, who played at Tennessee when I was there, and know his dad and mom, and were able to be with them. But Eric is a Hall of Famer. And then Al Wilson, who is another Hall of Famer, came all the way out here to Vegas to celebrate Eric on this trip. So I had some good time with those folks last night. And then maybe the most exciting thing right now in this event is Commissioner, or as I call him, Coach Kramer, Roy Kramer, is going in as a football coach from Central Michigan, and seeing the commissioner, former commissioner, seeing his family, was absolutely amazing. Commissioner is 94, I believe, maybe 95.
Wow.
Sharp as a tack. And what's interesting when you talk to people like Roy Kramer, he knows things that other people have no chance of knowing. Been a part of college athletics for a long, long time. And I try to talk to him and get as many stories out of him every chance I get to see him. So just a huge celebration. And Tim Tebow, who a lot of people know well, is in this class, and I got a chance to visit with he and his parents are so proud. And, he's a guy that actually changed quarterbacking in many, many ways, not only in the Southeastern Conference, but collegiately, just the approach they used when they played with Tim Tebow. So great night last night and a bigger night tonight.
Coach, how long has this been in Las Vegas? They used to have it at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City, right?
And I wish it still was, personally, but we got moved from the Waldorf due to a massive renovation there. And this is actually the first time I have attended in Vegas. I think this is the third year, maybe. Could be the fourth, I'm not sure. How long they had to sign the contract to stay here, I'm not sure. So whether it returns to New York, which I loved going to New York. It was just magic with this event. And so it is really different. And I'm not a gambler or a partier, so Vegas is a little different for me. That's why I went for a 2-hour walk today. Love to see it, but as long as I'm keeping moving by it, I'm all good.
So Coach, I got a story you'll enjoy, I believe. So, my father was put in the Hall of Fame. It's been a long time now. I can't remember the year. But we go up, and the university, the first or second night, had a party for my dad. And we went early. And I get there, and my dad's two sisters were sitting there just all over Johnny Majors.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting there, well, why in the world, how do y'all know Johnny Majors? Because it was obvious when I walked up, they knew him. Said he used to come to our house all the time. His brother played at Alabama. And, of course, they were in Tuscaloosa, and they used to come to their house all the time. And I didn't even know that.
Well, I went with Coach Majors up there multiple times while I was working with him, and we had great trips. He loved New York, deeply loved New York, and I'm not sure what year he went in as a player, but, obviously was always going to make it. And it was a true black tie affair then. And it kind of is now, but, things have changed. But, this was pure tuxedos. And partially for a while, I think maybe it had been men only to the induction, and that changed. And then one of the other things that we do is we celebrate the Campbell Award, which is the top. It's called the Academic Heisman. You got to be a quality player and a great student, which Peyton Manning won while I was coaching him. And there'll be great student athletes there tonight, and that's another reason that John Majors and Coach Bryant, and it's a chance to celebrate student athletes as well for all the right reasons, if that makes sense.
Talking to Coach David Cutcliffe right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, your dad's class was class of 2003, so it's been 20 years.
Unbelievable. But Eli won it, that award. I believe.
Yeah.
He won some.
Yeah.
He won the award also, didn't he?
My brain power, Wes. Right?
Eli and the quarterback from Ohio State, And then the linebacker who ended up at the Jets from Miami, I can't call his name right now, but God, he was good.
Oh, you're getting me too, because I can see him and I can't pull his name out.
They were incredible. All of them gave. The guy from Ohio State was a molecular biologist degree.
Really?
Yeah, I can't even spell that. I don't know. I mean, that was.
I can't even say that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awe-inspiring. I actually have a young man here, Dwayne Carter, that we recruited and he played for us at Duke, and he is one of the finalists. I don't know who's going to win it, but he will be here tonight. I look forward to seeing his mom and dad, hugging their neck and seeing Dwayne.
Coach, I did want to ask about future schedules, and I know you've, at least from past conversations, that you've been a proponent of sticking with 8 conference games, and I do wonder whether or not with this new expanded playoffs, that is certainly going to take a bite out of these bowl-eligible teams once we get to postseason play, Coach.
Well, it will, and there's nothing about college football that it is what it once was. I mean, let's face it, the change has occurred. Some great, some in a lot of people's eyes, including mine, not so great. But we've got a lot of work left to do. I think the 2 words that people try to use in scheduling, they want it fair and they want it balanced. And those are 2 difficult things to do. But through analytics within our league, the variation of schedule is not more than 3 to 4%, meaning, okay, over a 10-year period, here's your opponents, and here's their record combined, and there's like a 48-point-something and a 52% variation, meaning within 4% of balance and fairness. And you can do it over a 10-year period, not 2 or 3 last years, you know.
Yeah.
And so you start there, and then things change. And I saw some of the people from the analytic company that has been hired that I've been really impressed with since I've been in this job, and I've had a lot of long conversations with them. And I saw them in Atlanta over the weekend at the championship game, and they feel really good. I mean, these are unbiased people, really smart people, and they feel really good with what has been able to occur in that. And it's going to be ever-changing. Who knows? 16 teams? Maybe. I mean, who knows right now? I don't even try to speculate. I don't sit in on all those high-level meetings. But, you know, we just got to trust that a lot of people that know what they're doing are doing this as well as it can possibly be done.
Well, what was your impression of the Southeastern Conference Championship game?
Well, I was down on the field for a long time, and I tell you what it was a physical football game. The line of scrimmage is where, in my opinion, Alabama won the game. You know, now there was no domination anywhere, but if you just look at what occurred, time to throw the ball and success running the football, it's been rare that Georgia, over this run they've had, has come out on the short end of that in any game. And I thought Alabama's offensive unit is one of the more improved units in the conference. It's easy to see, you know, Jalen Milroe and how hard he's worked. And I've told him that. I said, your start to finish has been impressive, but your job's not finished. I don't leave it with rat poison. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. They're not going to blame that on you anyway, right?
No. My job has always been to challenge players to be their best. And if you think you've done your best, there's more. And that's essentially what I tell them. And but I think Alabama's offensive front on both sides, on offense, is extremely improved from when I saw them early in the season. And then the defensive front, it was really impressive coming up with the amount of pressure they put on the quarterback and, getting to him. And then very obvious stopping the run was incredibly important in that game. But it was a true SEC match where you could hear it. When you could hear contact, people don't understand the noise a line of scrimmage makes or not. That was the thing I did as a head coach. I would always, early in the game, first quarter, I looked at nothing but both lines of scrimmage. Looked at our offense and our defense up front to see what I thought strategy we might have to use to win a game, because those matchups are so critical.
They were indeed. I tell you that. And what a great environment, too. I happened to be in Atlanta as well over the weekend, Coach, and you could just feel that intensity. And it was brought up in the postgame. I believe Dennis Dodd asked both coaches in both press conferences whether or not we're going to feel that same energy with the expanded playoffs. And it's hard to not think that it might ding it a little bit, Coach.
Well, it's when you extend a season and you look at the National Football League, it's what I do for statistics, because that's so evenly paired, more so than people realize. There's not a lot of difference from a Super Bowl champion to maybe the last place team. It may look like it, in record, but when you look at the National Football League, it's why you see some really good teams lose early. I think we're human.
Yeah. And
the longer we're having to do something, there's more opportunity for letdown. The difference, in the National Football League and college football has been the critical importance. The quote playoff has been game 1 through game 12. You lose, you're out, kind of mentality. And I hope we don't lose that at all, and I don't think we will. But I realize, and everybody needs to realize, that a critical injury, even if you win your first round, which would be, quote, the second round for the, quote, best teams, but if you win your first game and you lose 2 of your best players, you may well struggle to be the champion. So it's an interesting dilemma. It will certainly be interesting. And one thing we do know, the viewership will be amazing.
Yeah.
So you're right.
If Mike Norvell were to reach out to you, the Florida State head coach, after what happened to their team, what would be a piece of advice or two that you would offer up on how to handle that situation with your team, if it was your team, Coach?
Yeah, first, I know Mike well. Coached against him when he was at Arizona State as the offensive coordinator. We played him in the Sun Bowl. He's a good football coach. When he came in the ACC, he spent a lot of time talking with me. And there's nothing that you can say that will make the Florida State fans, players, or Mike feel okay about this. There's no way to justify what occurred. We all have our opinion, and I would never share that with him. But what is an absolute that I see coaches struggle with, I'm going to give you a Coach Bryant thing he did. And I'm always trying to do this as head coach. On Wednesday night, his thing was always have a plan for everything. And you write it down and you think in a calm manner, this is going to be basically what I'm going to say if we win. You don't want to win cost you a game the next week, This is what I'm going to say if we lose. And in his area, he would write down, this is what I'm going to say if we tie. But he also would talk about heartbreaker. That when you face a heartbreaker, we've seen those losses. I can remember one specifically that I didn't do a very good job. We played Arkansas when I was head coach at Ole Miss in 7 overtimes and lost to Matt Jones. That heartbreaker, you better think about. So going into that, and I don't know what he has said to the team prior, but going into that Sunday, if you're on that bubble, you better already know and have a plan. And if you haven't, you know, he's playing in a big bowl game against a national championship team until somebody else is crowned. Georgia's the national champion of college football, right? So,
yeah, that's right.
You know, turn your attention to focus on that. And that would have been what I would have done. Yes, what I would have done, I would have had that thought process, knowing that you're going to have a huge game, impact game on your program. And Mike, you're young. There is more to come. You know, God bless you all. You know, part of that criteria was, you know, for that committee to look at what's the team look like right now. The other part of it is strength of schedule, but you know, you make sure they know they did their part. They've done nothing wrong, and we have a chance to have an undefeated season that is, you know, been in a lot of mythical national championships. Remember the story of the missing ring at Alabama, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember a few years ago, I guess it was Central Florida that had the mythical national championship. So just be concerned. My mother told me this, and I know I'm rambling, but this has been so emotional for me, and I think the committee got it right. I can say that publicly, even though Florida State folks may hate me. But my mother, I was upset about not getting an award. My mother was a wise person, and my dad had passed away before this. She said, "What's your problem?" And I told her. She said, "Well, do you understand the difference between success and achievement?" And I said, "Not really." She said, "Well, success or awards, someone else's opinion. You've done your job, but it's someone else's opinion. Achievement is looking in the mirror. Don't kid yourself, but if you've done everything you could have possibly done to be the best you can be, then you have achieved, and that's a whole lot more satisfying than success." And that's the story I told Peyton Manning when he didn't win the Heisman. We flew back on a plane to Knoxville, and I knew I was worried about that, and that goes back to that plan. And I don't know if it made him feel any better or not, but that what she said is reality. So let's all remember that. It's always usually somebody else's opinion. Most importantly, let's look in the mirror and know that we have absolutely been our best.
Coach, I think it's a good place to end right there. Coach, I cannot thank you enough for those words of wisdom. I mean, great insight. And certainly happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you and your family if we don't talk in the next coming weeks. And we appreciate the time that you give us, Coach.
Appreciate you guys, and good visit with you guys, and I love what you do for sports. And I also want to tell all the listeners a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas, and let's have a great holiday season.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
All right, take care.
That is David Cutcliffe joining us. Let's take our final timeout here in this first hour. Jerry Glanville is going to join us at the top of the hour, but get ready. Get ready. Picks are coming on the other side. Jen's in the house. We're going to make you some money on the other side.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's making the best donuts you've ever had? Come see for yourself at Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Come in and order from over 50 flavors, all made hot and delicious. Ranked in the top 100 donut shops in the nation by Yelp. Bigfoot Little Donuts. Order in store or online at bigfootslittledonuts.com for pickup or delivery from Grub South or DoorDash. South Parkway, Huntsville, and County Line Road, Madison. Bigfoot's Little Donuts.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond Lehocky Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Everyone loves Nashville right now. It's the perfect family getaway, but it isn't just known for its food, bright lights, and music. It's also known for football. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl is coming to Nissan Stadium on December 30th. Come see Auburn versus Maryland right here in Music City. The music, the food, the fun. Spend your weekend in Nashville. It's your family's perfect start to the new year. Tickets are available now at MusicCityBowl.com and on SeatGeek. Brought to you by Tennessee Lottery.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. It'll be chilly through the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Bundle up as you head out the door on Wednesday morning. We're going to start the day in the mid 30s. A mostly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. It is going to be much cooler Wednesday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley instead of the upper 50s and lower 60s that we could see on Tuesday, dropping into the lower 30s through the overnight, early Thursday morning. A mostly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Coming up tomorrow night, our hometown broadcast. We've got some women's college basketball right in our own backyard as the Tennessee Lady Vols take on the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State University. Myself and Scott Tyson will be on the call. Tip-off set for 6:30 tomorrow over at the VBC. Check that out, as there's a few tickets still left for that matchup tomorrow over at the VBC. Excited about that, and always excited to see Jen here with us. How are you, Jen?
I'm good. I'm looking all sparkly tonight. Did you notice?
Sparkly, yes. It's hard not to notice.
Okay, I'm just saying.
It looks good on radio.
I thought you'd like that, right?
I mean,
I walk in
if
the
you
door,
can see the sparkles through the radio,
then it looks good.
whoever's driving said vehicle needs to get some work done.
Hey, if it's the holidays, you got to sparkle a little, right?
That's right.
I figure that, or Cindy Lou Who It around,
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
right?
It's a good reference.
You know, yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah?
Yes.
How's everybody since I haven't talked to y'all in a hot
I
minute?
hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I did. That seems like a really long time ago. I don't
about
know. When the holidays get here, it's like, don't you think?
Well, it's 2 weeks from 2 days. 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks ago. 2 days.
Oh, it feels like just
12
forever
days
ago.
Yeah.
Did you notice our big giant tree we have on the top of the building?
Yes, I do.
You like that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Did you go up there and put that up?
Heck no. Are you
Was that
kidding?
Ken's job?
Uh-huh. That's no small job.
Yeah, just as long as Ken doesn't turn off the power again, I'm good with that.
Barbie doesn't do stuff like that. Ken
That's
does.
exactly right. That's right. And in high heels, I'll tell you right now.
So tell me about the holiday season.
Yes, it is crazy here, and a good crazy. You know, because we have the dining room and we've got the garage. We're just filling them up with corporate parties and all that good stuff. Not tonight, but,
Well,
you know.
it's looking more festive out here, too.
Now you got the Rocket Republic.
Rocket. We've got that going on.
Of course,
I'm
you
filling
got the
that up.
Haven.
Oh, of course, who doesn't love our bougie Haven? We just love it over there. That's full. That's been fun. So, I mean, we've got them every night, and it's always a party over here. And our music is fun. And, you know, we're still doing a little bit of bike night. So we still have a good little buffet.
Yeah.
We're calling it bike night.
Thursdays.
Yes. So if somebody just wants to come and grab a little bite, we've got that.
Yeah.
So we've got that. I want to say we've got Brandon Elder. He's going to bring his full band on Saturday. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Rodeo Bob, who doesn't love a good DJ, and our special Rodeo Bob. You know, he brings down the house. You know that, right?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it.
Yes.
I need to check out Rodeo Bob.
Oh, he's quite the DJ.
Is he?
Yes. How do you not?
So what night's Rodeo Ball?
Friday night.
Friday night.
Oh, yes. So, you know, everybody's got all these Christmas parties in town. So I just say when you're tired of all of them, you just come on over here because the party's way better.
Or come here and start out, then go to the party and come back.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that too.
Pre, post.
You know, because the nice thing about this is the parking's easy. If
Yes.
you try to get drinks downtown, oh my goodness, you can't even hardly park these days.
Yeah.
But here, not a problem.
Yeah.
So, that being said, it's going to be a great week.
Do you
this
have
week.
any availability here for procrastinators?
Yeah, I do. In fact, I've been getting several emails for reservations. Like some companies will do a luncheon and we'll do like a corporate luncheon. And we've even bumped up our staff so, you know, we can accommodate everybody. So, yes, I've still got some spots here and there, and we just love to help people that forgot about it and need something.
Let's make some folks some money, shall we?
Don't you think? Oh, yeah.
It's bowl season.
Oh, it's my pick.
That's so you're only going to give us one pick? Do you want me to give you
just
some other point
one.
spreads?
Oh, yes. But of course,
So how about we start off with Texas and Washington? Texas is a 4-point favorite over Washington. The game is being played in New Orleans. This is the other half of the playoff. You got Longhorns or Huskies. So you got Bevo or a dog.
Oh, well, I'll take Texas any day.
So you're going to say hook 'em.
Mm-hmm.
4 points.
Only because of the boots.
Only because
I'm just saying, Texas all day long.
Yeah. All right.
Like?
Yeah, I do like
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
I do like Texas.
Good.
Michigan is a 1.5-point favorite over Alabama.
I know, but who likes the North? I don't know.
This game being played in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl.
Oh.
That's the early
Has
one.
Michigan ever beaten Alabama?
I don't
think so.
Don't think so. I don't know that for a fact.
I don't think they've played that many times.
Surely Alabama. Surely.
Alabama.
I mean, I'd be a fool to say otherwise.
I know where we're going because I heard the pregame talk in there.
Yes.
So do you want to go
with Missouri?
Okay, so
over Ohio State.
So Missouri, actually Ohio State started off as a 6.5-point favorite. It is now a pick'em. It's now a pick'em from a 6.5-point favorite for the Ohio State. It is now a pick'em.
Somebody must not be playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wrong. Michigan did beat. I was at the game. They had a
Really?
quarterback pretty good.
You were at the game?
Yeah, Tom Brady. was the quarterback.
Oh, that's right, the Orange Bowl.
Yeah,
that's right.
Time, yeah.
Wasn't that a long time ago?
Yes, that was
99.
24 years ago.
Oh, my gracious.
Yeah,
Oh,
4
he's
years
like
ago.
ancient now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you
Yes.
like Missouri.
I'll take Missouri.
Even though there's 3 books that have Missouri as a 1-point favorite, there's 2 books that have Ohio State as a 1-point favorite, and 4 of them has it as a pick 'em.
But didn't we also hear that they're in their hometown playing and that they're just going to play like dogs? I don't know. Is that right? No? Kind of,
Well,
sort
we'll
of?
say that's right.
Okay.
That's 100% right from Jen.
All right. So I'm going to go for Missouri.
Okay. Brandon is on the line. I'm sure Brandon would like to talk to Jen as well as us. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. It sounded like Norfolk Southern was dead on cue in the middle of that last interview.
Well, she's right here. Would you have a question for Jen, Brandon?
What is the best-selling dish that you sell?
Your best-selling dish.
Oh, our best-selling dish. I'm going to say Blanco nachos.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's with the cheese and the chicken.
Because every single chip has
I have had that.
individual pieces of chicken on it.
Then you got enough
And we use
jalapenos that you can put on every one.
Brandon, it's really good.
It's really good.
With the melting Mexican cheese.
Yes, it's really good.
And so every chip has a bite of every flavor from Mexico.
Yeah, it's really good.
How's that?
It's really good.
And with tequila, mwah.
You coming on
So
over?
good.
You coming on over, Brandon?
Hey, the next time I get over, I might. It sounds like it wants a little bath in chili too. That might make my day.
There you go.
No question about that. Yeah. Later on, you might not be really good, but that, yeah.
Favorite dish. Come on.
You got anything else for us, Brandon?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Wes. I talked to y'all after the Texas game, and we talked a little bit about what we saw from the offensive line, what was wrong, and after Wes got to see what they did against good competition in Georgia the other night, what does he see that is functioning better, and what does he see that they're doing now that they were not doing before?
The right guard is an all-pro player. Number one thing. He's amazing. And so you took the weakest guy off the offensive line in the Texas game, and now you got one of the best offensive linemen, in my opinion. And then the left tackle's gotten tremendously better, and the quarterback's gotten tremendously better. You know, rookie quarterbacks always escape to the outside. It's natural. You're running away from those guys that look like they might eat you in the middle.
Or kill you.
Yeah. And so the hardest thing in the world is stepping up. And when he started stepping up, his tackles started getting confident in what they were doing. It just got better. They're young players. They were starting basically 2 freshmen. And now those guys have grown up and become really good players. And 77's come in there. And
that's Roberts.
He's been one of the top offensive linemen 2 or 3 weeks this year. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
I mean, in the nation, grading out. It wasn't like somebody said, some reporter or somebody else said, college football, Pro Football Weekly. Focus, is that what it is?
Pro Football
Focus has named him offensive lineman, the top guard, at least 2 times that I've seen this year.
Well, and I looked, our left tackle, he was a 390-pound center coming out of high school. And to shift over and play left tackle at that weight is crazy.
Well, yeah, I don't think he weighs that anymore. But
Brandon, I appreciate the phone call, sir.
The offensive line and the receivers. Listen, Isaiah Bond is unbelievable.
Jen, how do they get in contact with you here?
Hey, FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com. They can call me on my cell, 256-426-1989. See you at the bar.
And you still have a little bit of room for procrastinators.
Yes, I do. Come on, y'all. Bring it on. We got ya.
Bring it on. Thank you, Jen. Jerry Glanville set to join us after this SportsCenter timeout. We'll be right back.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Jim Basco. The Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence has a high ankle sprain, saying he'll do everything he can to play at Cleveland on Sunday. He suffered the injury late in last night's loss. Lawrence has not missed a game since the Jags drafted him. Ryan Clark on Jacksonville without him.
We're always talking about teams that have to have a guy that had theirs, and that was Trevor Lawrence. And so to compete with the Baltimore Ravens, compete with teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, you knew that Trevor Lawrence was going to have to play a huge part in getting this team here. And so now you're trying to figure out if these skill position pieces, the Calvin Ridleys, now you're missing Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, if those guys can play well enough around C.J. Beathard and this defense can step up in a way to get you to a point where if Trevor Lawrence can come back, you're still in the fight, or that C.J. Beathard can get you into the playoffs. This is extremely difficult. It's not only you lose such a huge talent, but your team leader in Trevor Lawrence.
2 days ago, Tim Boyle was the Jets' starting quarterback. He's now off the team. The Jets waiving him today, filling his spot by signing Brett Rippon off the Seahawks practice squad. Coach Robert Saleh is still not named a starter for Sunday's game against the Texans. The choices, Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian. Dodgers a few days ago at Dodger Stadium with a meeting that lasted upwards of 3 hours, tracked to better than $500 million. He's also said to have met with the Blue Jays, Giants, and Yankees either in person or virtually.
Hey, it's Greeny, and on Wednesday we continue in search of the answer to the biggest question in football. Who do you like in the AFC? Suddenly, the NFC has become the varsity. We'll talk about that and more. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Had a filled up first hour as we talked to Dan Murphy from ESPN.com on at least the story that came out about the legislation that was proposed by NCAA President Charlie Baker, basically for schools being allowed to pay kids individually instead of the NIL, basically changing the name on the check. But we'll see where that goes. But we also talked to Coach David Cutcliffe on quite a number of subjects, and it's always fun to talk football with head coach Jerry Glanville, who's kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
If I was any better, you'd have to put me in jail.
Well, do I need to alert the Knoxville? Well, where are you now, Coach? It's not Knoxville, right?
No, I am today in Ohio. A couple of big news stories for you, too, in Ohio. The Ohio State quarterback has chosen to go to the portal. And how about this? The University of Toledo quarterback has decided to leave and go in the portal. And what's interesting for you two, you both like high school football.
Yeah.
He is from Cass Tech in Detroit, who now makes it out of the last 11 years out of Cass Tech, they've had 9 players of theirs drafted in the NFL.
Wow.
That's a high school program.
Wow. That's
awesome?
That's impressive.
I think we better get into the Final Four finale. And we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people mad, and we got a lot of people upset. And they asked me, and I said, the whole problem was caused by Auburn. We would not have people mad. We'd have the right people playing. But Auburn caused the problem. On the last play, I text Wes, and I said, 2-man rush. If they'd have had a 4 or a 5-man rush, nobody would be mad on who's in the playoffs.
Well, there's probably a little truth of that, but the bottom line is, Coach, it doesn't only matter if you win or lose. It matters who you play too. And when your schedule strength's at 55 and versus Alabama's 5th, that's the reason they put, in my opinion, Alabama in their victory over Georgia instead of Florida State.
But the only thing I'm going to play, I'm at Florida State or I'm in the ACC. Head-to-head, the ACC was 6-4 against the SEC.
Yeah, but who are those teams?
But I will say, Coach, that Kentucky win over Louisville I thought was big for the conference.
Yeah, it's because Louisville, hasn't that guy, first year back there from Purdue last year. And
yes,
people
sir.
don't know this. Nobody knows this because you don't pay attention. Last year at Purdue, he played for the Big Ten championship. Now, he got beat, but he left that team to go to Louisville and did a great job. I don't know him. I wouldn't know him from a jar of Vicks other than I know his work. He did a great job at Western Kentucky. The Western Kentucky job sent him Purdue. Ex-quarterback for the University of Louisville. Does a good job. If I'm at FSU, though, Wes, I know where your heart is, so I got to talk to Steve. You can go get a Diet Coke. If you were from FSU, what would you say, Steve?
If I was from FSU, my argument would be every team on our schedule and one that wasn't even on our schedule we beat. We're undefeated, so therefore we have the right to play for a national championship.
And I would add to your statement, we're in a Power 5 conference. Being undefeated at Joe Bag of Donuts is not as important as if you're in a Power 5, correct?
Well, there's Power 5 and 4 spots.
Yeah.
So that math doesn't add up.
Yeah, so somebody's going to get left out. To me, truthfully, Coach, I said Texas should get in before Alabama.
Yeah.
But to me, it's always strength of schedule. So if you're playing in a weak conference, it is not the same as the Southeastern Conference.
Well,
and Texas, Florida State's 2-0. Alabama was 9-0.
We were of the opinion the last couple of weeks here on this program, Coach, that they were undervaluing Texas and Alabama, honestly.
I thought they undervalued Alabama for over a month and a half. Because of that Texas defeat, they weren't honest with what they were seeing after that until they finally beat Georgia. And I got to say this about Alabama. I saw them early, and Wes knows I did a total film study on them. They're not the same team, Wes, as when they had their bye week. When I studied them in their bye week, they were not that good of a football team. But the maturation of the quarterback and the hitting improvement on the defense change what they were doing. Now, that first drive, when Georgia just did whatever they wanted to do on them, I don't know why. I thought I was watching, who was that? The Philadelphia Eagles. 100 years ago, the Will linebacker walked out on the slot. Well, if you ever see me put the Will linebacker on the slot, get a gun and shoot me. I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Saban did say in the post game on the adjustments that he said halfway through the drive, he said on the headset that we got to play 4-man front. It's got to happen.
He must have watched a Buddy Ryan film and thought they could do it. I was jumping out of my chair, saying I can't believe this is happening. Now I got to tell you both this. I watched the Ohio State-Michigan game every single play, did not quit charting, did not quit looking. And I think Ohio State and Michigan can't play with Georgia, Alabama, maybe Florida State. I think there's too much. You're going to die when I tell you this, Wes. There's too many. I got up during the game. I said, if I see one more 32 cut run, I'm going to bed. Wake me up when it's over. They ran over the right guard so many times I fell asleep.
Sounds like Michigan.
Not the same football. Now the question for Steve
I agree with that.
The question for you, Steve, I lead the nation in touchdowns to interception ratio. I lead the nation in percentage yards. And now it's time to vote for the Heisman. I'm talking about the Alabama high school player Bo Nix. Can he win the Heisman?
He is invited to New York. He is one of the 4 invitees to New York. But
3 quarterbacks.
I'm betting on the LSU guy.
And the one wide receiver.
Yeah,
from Ohio State and Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Penix, you've got Jaden Daniels, you've got Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr.
I think it's either Michael Penix Jr. or
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
Well, I'm hoping Bo Nix simply because I love to go to Alabama. I love to eat at the shrimp basket. And I think if Bo Nix wins it, I'm coming down there and throwing a big shrimp basket.
Well, don't.
Big dinner.
Yeah, but don't think you can't come down here and somebody else wins it.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Okay.
seriously.
Yeah,
No matter who wins it, come on down here to the Furniture Factory,
We're ordering
Coach.
the Cajun shrimp if the LSU guy wins.
I got real mad the year I drafted West because, like today, I was trying to get him the Heisman, and I couldn't get the votes.
Talking to Jerry Glanville right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. So, do you think either of these Final Four matchups are going to be at all competitive coming up on January 1, Coach?
We could end up seeing a repeat of Alabama playing Texas for the national championship. We've seen that once, but we could see that again. I didn't get to study Washington. People that know football said that Washington and Oregon were very good football teams.
Yeah.
And I don't ever repeat stuff unless I see it with my own eyes. So I have not seen that myself. So, unlike everybody that you talk to that has an opinion, I try to keep mine on believing what you see. And I haven't seen that. But I'll tell you what I did see last night for you two. Clemson quarterbacks playing at the Jaguars.
That's right, Trevor Lawrence.
And probably has been the best quarterback the last year and a half. Such a quick release. He makes Dan Marino look like he's holding the ball. The ball comes up too quick.
Wow.
And I see him get injured. And I don't know if it's an ankle or a knee, but I know he's in dire pain. And in the state of Florida, they can't find a golf cart to take them up the ramp.
Yeah, that was tough to watch right there.
That was unbelievable. He's 6 whatever, and they had a guy my height, 5'9", trying to walk him up there. You don't know what this injury is, and I was absolutely stunned that they did not put him in a golf cart. And you two have been to Florida. You two like Florida. There's a lot of golf carts in that state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's the truth.
overabundance amount of golf carts in the Sunshine State. But, Coach, I will say, at least from an NFL perspective, that if you told me the Falcons had the same record as the Bills heading into Week 14, boy, I'd be really excited if and I am a Falcon fan, but what is going on with the Bills? They're 6-6.
They've lost the commitment to how they used to play. And it was kind of funny if you watched the Bengals came out and played, and everybody said, "What a shock! The Bengals are running the football. They haven't run it all year when they had their best quarterback." And sometimes, and I really saw this with even Don Shula at Miami, when you get the super quarterback, you forget how to play the total game. And the total game is, don't answer every problem with a new pass pattern. Answer some problems with some runs. So what the Bengals did, they committed themselves to run it. Well, lo and behold, they can run the football.
Shocking what happens when you can run the football.
But you have to be committed to it. Wes tried to get me committed a couple of times when I was coaching. He wanted to put me in the big house. Did either one of you get to see the Packers play?
I did not.
No, sir.
Watch Love, their quarterback, who's been sitting around waiting for 4 years.
That's another 6-6 team, by the way.
By the way, he came out of Utah State and had a watch. They had Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. And this guy is like the Alabama quarterback. He is no longer what he was a month and a half ago. He has improved that much. So, are you allowed to say I think I love Love?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with loving Love.
Okay.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Love?
He seems to be playing. He seems to be playing a lot better, Coach.
He has really improved. And now, if this is a high ankle sprain, Trevor Lawrence, they now, as you two probably know, take that to surgery.
Yeah, that's right. The tightrope.
I don't know if that surgery does a lot, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm watching the Georgia tight end.
Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. He had it. I mean, I watched Jalen Hurts had it. It took him 2 months.
Tua.
Yeah, Tua came back a little quicker than the other ones, but I don't know.
You think you'd rather rehab without the surgery? Is that what you're saying?
I'm thinking yes. I remember a doctor telling me that no injury's bad enough, surgery can't make worse.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've come a long way.
And I've heard a number of doctors say that if you can avoid surgery, I would recommend it.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's some people that need to do it, but it seems like they're just doing it for a high ankle sprain, and it's about, in my experience, that people that I've watched, they're about 25%, and I don't think they came back any quicker.
Good point. Now, I always had a rule with my doctor. I would say, rather than do the surgery, if you need a ski trip, just tell me. I'll take my credit card and go skiing, and we'll forget about the surgery.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking to Jerry Glanville right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You mentioned about being committed earlier. Well, there's a lot of Patriot fans that feel like they're being committed right now because they're 2-10. They play Thursday against the Steelers. What is going on with the New England Patriots, Coach?
Well, they lost 6-0.
Yeah,
And,
soak that in.
And this is the NFL. And it brought me back. I was coaching the Atlanta Falcons. I was an assistant. And we were really, really good. 77 had the best defense. And we went out to San Francisco and played the 49ers. And we beat the 49ers in San Francisco 7-3. And we scored on a deflected pass that was tipped in the air.
Really?
And, yeah. And our owner, you remember our owner, he owned the Life of Georgia, Rankin Smith.
That's right.
He called an emergency staff meeting after the win. And we all went in there, and he goes, I appreciate the win, and the win's a win. We said, yes, sir. He said, if you ever lose a game like that, you all will be fired on Monday.
Wow. That'll sober you up
Boring,
pretty quick.
boring. But I don't know what's happened to that poor quarterback at the Alabama kid that everybody loved, and all of a sudden, as Wes said, I guess in 3 years he's had 4 coaches, and just not. I don't think I call it processing, Wes. I think if you have all these different guys coaching you, telling you what you read, what you to do, pretty soon your mind's not processing that tempo that you need.
Well, not only that, Coach. The second year he was there, they hired a defensive guy to be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Well, now
how to
you
stunt
may
your
be
growth.
there, Wes, I may go OW, which is open weeping, because I was thinking about applying for an offensive coordinator job.
So I don't know. I would think offense would be harder to coach than defense, as far as the. But I'm not sure.
As far as what?
I just think
always say this, Wes.
Yeah,
It's so much easier being an offensive coordinator. It's 10 times easier than being a defensive coordinator, because as an offensive coordinator, you have that one down where you're allowed to punt. As a defensive coordinator,
I knew it was going to be good. I didn't know it would be that good, though, Coach.
Now, if they could just punt on second down, right?
As a defensive coordinator, rather than punt, you put a new light bulb in the scoreboard.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Boy.
But I've always wondered that. I always thought, so I was, when I was coaching middle school with my kids, I was always the defensive guy because I thought it was a lot easier.
Oh, wow.
Of course, at that age, you probably are. But coaching the offensive line would be easy, I think, for me. But the rest of it would be, I think, very difficult. Although, if you put a hat on a hat and you hold your block, and the running back will run the right way, usually that's all you need, isn't it?
Well, it was kind of funny. I was watching run. It was a pretty good back, and you're going to die when I tell you. He's trying to run off the left guard with a cutback, but he took the cutback all the way outside the right tackle, and he was a minus, and a minus. I just thought, why isn't his coach telling him the cutback has to hit the B gap, not the C gap? And little things like that will allow your players to look a whole lot better with their athletic ability.
So
I'm taking a look at your bio, Coach. I see defensive coordinator, defense, head coach. Nothing on the offense. Did you ever coach offense?
Yeah, that's my goal. I'm going to come back in my next life, and I'm going to be Wes's offensive coordinator.
Because it's so much easier to coach the defense, according to Wes.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm asking him. I mean, it was for me, but I didn't do it on his level. That's what the whole point.
You all remember when I went to Hawaii?
Yes,
and
sir.
We were opening up with the number one team in America Southern Cal, and the coach that's at Seattle. What's his name?
That would be Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll was the head coach, and Kiffin. You remember a guy named Kiffin?
That's right. He's in Oxford.
Was the offensive coordinator of this team, and they had
was the co-offensive.
He was Sarkisian.
Was Sarkisian.
Yeah.
He was a co-offensive coordinator.
And they had two guys that won the Heisman Trophy, and we're going to open up with them. And because of what Wes said about offense and defense, they said, "What are you worried about, Coach, in this game? What's your biggest worry?" And I said, "The biggest worry is every time they score a touchdown, that big white horse runs up and down the sidelines, and I'm pretty sure he'll probably die in our game."
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
and you didn't want to be responsible for that, right?
Yeah.
I looked at that horse's tongue, and it looked like a necktie. I said, "They got to quit scoring, or that bad boy is gone."
Oh, boy.
How good was Reggie Bush in college, Coach?
We really got after him in a way. And he later on said that's the hardest ever was hit because our first guy would miss him and our second guy would miss him, but we were chasing so hard the third guy was there before he gained much yards. So we actually had a very good game against him. The quarterback, remember, he won the Heisman Trophy the next year. He hurt
Matt Leinart.
But I give Kiffin, and I know that's hard to do in some states, because he did shift once, shift twice, motion, and each one of those moves to change the strength of the formation. And I was at my first game, and I had my guys, and we were not ready to adjust to all that. We got ready about the third game. But you can get ready in a walkthrough, but in the game, as you know, Wes, there ain't no walkthrough, and it all happens pretty quick.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it does happen really quick. And usually if you've prepared for something or have seen it before, you can adjust to it. But like he's saying, first game, never, really don't have your whole stuff in, and they start doing something they hadn't practiced. You hadn't practiced. It gets hard. No question.
Well, here's what happened. June said, "How are we going to be? I need to know what you think on defense." I said, "I think we shut them out." He goes, No, really. What is going to happen?" I goes, "Just like ours, they won't score." So June got the ball first on offense, and we kept the ball for a long, long time. Got down about the 15-yard line, and we threw a pick six, and they ran it all the way back. So June walked by me on the sideline. We haven't been in the game, and I said to him, "There goes that damn shutout."
And then Traveler went running on by, right, Coach?
Yeah. Well, then about the middle of the third quarter, when they got us by about 50, he walks by me and says, "I guess that interception wasn't that big a deal."
Oh, goodness.
Oh, God.
Well, so there is a – go ahead, Coach.
We went on and had because of the way June does things, we went on and had, as you all remember, we were the darlings for the college betting, because we came on after midnight, and we went on and won a whole bunch of games. Went undefeated one year and had all kinds of fun.
Sunday night is a big one between the Eagles and the Cowboys. There's a lot of people now buying into the Cowboys. Are you part of that group, Coach, buying into the Cowboys?
Well, the Cowboys play, and Wes will know this, they play jump around up front to pressure the quarterback. And they jump around and they head fake you and they arm over you. And I'm talking about every down. Well, they played the 49ers. And while they were playing jump over West, arm over, the 49ers were running the football. And West will tell you, you can't stop the run playing pass rush.
No, no. When you do that arm over and you're running the ball, it's like, thank you very much. I got a plus on this play. You're going to the next. You're going over to the next gap. I mean,
yeah. And so I think if and I think Philadelphia does a real good coaching job. I think they'll follow the copy set down by the 49ers, because if you drop back and pass, if you go 1st and 10, they won't be playing pass. They are. That number 11, that defensive end, he's not there to stop one run. He's there to pressure. And if they take a chapter out of the 49ers book, it's a different defense.
It's in Jerry's world this weekend with the Eagles at the Cowboys, Sunday Night Football, Coach.
Wow, that'll be a good one. Now, don't forget, the 1AA schools are in their playoffs this week. If you get a chance to watch the different 1AA schools like Montana and all that group, they play very, very, very good football.
And we're just a year away from a 12-team playoff up on the FBS level, Coach.
Well, we probably needed a 16 this year.
Yeah.
No question.
We'd had it.
That is.
If you won 29 in a row and you get beat, I don't know that you should be out of it either. Just me. And I like Alabama when they win, and I like Auburn when they win. But I just don't know that Georgia is not as good as everybody that's there.
Your FCS matchups, you got South Dakota State taking on Villanova. Ooh, North Dakota State is taking on South Dakota.
Woo, that's a war.
Yeah, no, that'll be something to watch. And Albany's taking on Idaho on the other side of the bracket, and Furman and Montana. Wow.
Montana, you got to love this. The head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs,
Andy Reid,
was in the Super Bowl, Andy, last year, and they said, "Are you uptight? Are you nervous about coaching in the Super Bowl?" And he looked at him, Wes, and he said, "Nervous? I've coached in the Montana State playoff game." What a great answer.
Well, that should be pretty spectacular between Furman and Montana. Not sure where that game's being played, but yeah, South Dakota and North Dakota State and South Dakota. Sign me up for that right now, Coach.
I'm telling you, they play hard, and they'll have a high-round offensive lineman off of each club. I'm talking about a second or third rounder they'll have. Montana's got a first-round offensive guard or tackle, West. So they got those types of people scattered throughout their roster.
Well, there is a bracket on the NCAA level, and there's about to be another one, thank goodness, beginning next year. That's more than just 4. And, Coach, we always enjoy talking football with you, and we'll sneak you on right before Christmas.
Well, should I come dressed as Santa Claus? Because every time I see Wes, he wants me to give him a gift.
Well, hell yes, Santa. Get your ass down here.
Come on now. Yeah, you can come on down here anytime you'd like, Coach.
Well, I'm getting ready for the SEC meetings in Nashville next year, because Wes said next year I get my own bathroom.
Yeah, well, you had your own bathroom, but you're going to be in Texas.
Dallas. It's in Dallas, Texas next year,
You can wear your hat there.
Oh, man, I got my hat on right now. I never talk to you without my hat, Wes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
You're the best.
Well, tonight, when this is all over, go over that shrimp basket and get me some and mail them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Exactly.
He is unique and one of a kind.
And
he is Jerry Glanville.
You should see Hawaii's record while they were there.
Yeah.
They were good.
They played Bama.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting.
Final 25 minutes belong to you. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Phone lines open to you at 256-576-4977. We're live here from Mark Camara's Furniture
Log
Factory.
on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Watch the Alabama High School Super 7 Football Championship presented by Alabama Community College System December 6th through the 8th on Alabama Public Television. It's all the gut-wrenching, hard-hitting, high-flying action you've come to expect from...
Wait, Alabama Public Television? Okay.
Watch every game live December 6th through the 8th only on your new home for high school sports, APT.
If you're the kind of value shopper who waits to the end of the year because you know that's when the deals are the best, it's here. And there's no first payment for 90 days. Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford's Make the Holiday Bright sales event. And we've got the best selection of new and certified pre-owned Fords we've had in years. Right now, get financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 23 F-150s. America's best-selling truck for 47 years. 2.9 on F-150. And Woody Anderson Ford has over 100 F-150s to choose from. Great finance rates and no first payment for 90 days on all new Fords. We have financing as low as 1.9% for up to 60 months on 23 Explorer, Escape, and Bronco Sport 2. It's our year-end sales event, the best time of the year to buy, plus no first payment for 90 days. Your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends December 30th. Come by and make your holidays bright at Woody Anderson Ford. We hope to see you soon.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. And I've been holding off on this, but you mentioned about the dinner that has moved from the Waldorf Astoria to Las Vegas.
That's upsetting.
And it honestly made me think about one thing and one thing only, Bobby Bowden.
First time I've been here since about 1975 when I was at West Virginia. I used to come to the Hall of Fame dinner every year because I could drive, you know. So anyway, my wife and I drove up from Morgantown to here and got us a room and everything, and we're not used to that kind of luxury, and so we check in and go up to our room, then we go out and eat and then come back. And so my wife said, this was right after the Watergate. You remember Watergate? My wife said, I bet you this room's bugged, you know. And she said, you know, all these big important hotels where a lot of dignitaries come, they bug them. And I said, no, Ann, they wouldn't bug this place, you know. But I got to thinking about it. Well, she went on to bed, and so I started looking around. You know, I looked over the door sill, I looked under the keyhole, and I looked under the bed and behind the flowers. I searched the room. No, it wasn't bugged. Couldn't find anything. Started to go to bed, looked out in the middle of the floor, and there's a little rug out there, little 8x4 rug. I said, I bet you something's under that. You know, something is under that. It's too suspicious. So I go over and I pick that rug up, and sure enough, there's a little steel plate about that size there with a screw in this end, a screw in that end. So I go get me a dime, you know, and I unscrew the screw here, you know, then I unscrew the other screw, then I lift it up and look it over, and there's nothing there. Nothing there, so it ain't bugged, right? So I screw it back in and I go back, and this place ain't bugged. We get up the next morning, go down, check out, when we're going to check out. And the girl said, was your room okay? Oh, yeah, it was good. Did y'all, everything was okay? Oh, yeah, everything was fine. Well, you heard about the people underneath you, didn't you? No. Chandelier fell on them. You know?
Oh, Coach Bowden. That is...
You don't know if it's true or not, though. You know, it could be.
Yeah. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. Mike is on the Neighbors Wealth Man. Mike is hung up. I guess that story from Bobby Bowden just wasn't captivating enough for Mike, although I just miss characters like that.
How could you not love Bobby Bowden?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He is just the best. Yeah. Yes, he was. But
if you ever want a rabbit hole, look for the comedy of Tim Wilson, and he does an impression of Bobby Bowden talking about some of the troubles he had at Florida State, and it sounds like comedy, but he's actually saying back things that Bowden said in a press conference.
Well,
if you ever want your ribs to hurt, then that's listen to that.
Well, one of the neater moments we've had on this very program when a former producer, Ray,
called the wrong guy.
Called Bobby Bowden instead of Mark Richt, and then called Mark Richt, and then we ended up having Bobby Bowden and Mark Richt having a conversation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mark Richt called us. It might have been.
Because Coach Rick was expecting us to call.
Yeah, we did. So he called us.
Yeah. So it just turned into a pretty neat little moment there. And I remember specifically before and afterwards with Coach Rick saying that he never wanted to be called by his first name because he knew he was in trouble when Bobby Bowden would say Mark to him.
Yeah. So 3 of our best shows, in my opinion. One was that one. One was Baumhauer and the first
Richard Todd.
Every time they've come on 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Have been classic. And then Coach Fuller and Pat Dye.
Yeah.
We're right here.
We're all referencing shows that Wes and I were like spectators on.
Yeah.
So
we actually I think I talked once, and we sit there and ate dinner and listened to them talk.
So
when they got on some wild tangent.
Yeah. I went back and listened to that show that we did from Notasulga, and it was, I tell you, it was fun to listen back to.
It was him talking about his team. He got so emotional.
That and on the fact that he was able to get his team to become a team at East Carolina. And that was a very memorable moment, as well as another one down at Coach Dye's place when he went off about
being buried under the tree.
Well, no, I was thinking about the late. It was late in the show, and you asked him about To Kill a Mockingbird, and he asked me how much time do we have, and he said, I said 5 minutes, and he said that's not enough. To which I said on the air, much like I would say to you right now, Brian, put it in manual, and that's exactly what Ray did, and we went on for about 15 minutes, and that was one of the more memorable
no question about that
shows as well. Jimmy,
one of the big things I was told starting out as a young broadcaster was to when gold happens, get out of its way.
Yep,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, Jimmy, no pressure. Jimmy, you're on line one. We need some gold.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We're good. How you doing, Jimmy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, first of all, I just, I'm not quite through with my 63rd season as a Bama fan. Billy Neighbors was one of my first heroes.
Wow.
And
he's a goodie.
Y'all were talking about Alabama, Michigan a while ago when they played in the Orange Bowl.
Yes, sir.
And, I was thinking Ryan Flugner missed an extra point in overtime, costing us a tie.
Well, that game was a weird game anyway because it looked like Alabama was going to dominate the game. It was 14-0, and then they put in their second-string quarterback, and he lit us up, and I'll never forget it. And he also became the winningest player in NFL history with all his he won 9 Super Bowls. It was Tom Brady. And how I forgot that game is because I mentally put it out of my mind.
You think?
Yeah. He was a bad
It's kind of crazy to think about that now, but that was a heck of a game.
It's 24 years ago.
Yeah.
That game was 24 years ago.
It's crazy.
And it was,
all right, guys. Well, hey, I love the show. Y'all do a great job. I appreciate all you do, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Appreciate the phone call. I don't know if you saw this come over the wire today, but Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is taking action in the light of Florida State missing out on the college football playoff. According to the Tampa Bay Times, DeSantis will set aside $1 million to aid in potential lawsuit against the CFP for the Seminoles snub.
Well, I mean, they can snub whatever they want. I don't know why it's a waste of tax dollars money, in my humble opinion.
I'm not sure $1 million would be enough right there, but
no,
maybe for the ACC. Maybe.
Well, for whoever the law firm getting it.
Yeah, they'll happily.
Yes. Yeah.
First team All-SEC was announced earlier today. Your first team All-SEC quarterback, Jaden Daniels from Louisiana State University. Your tailbacks are Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss and Cody Schrader from Missouri. I love that story. He was a top-level D2 player. Got an opportunity at Missouri and has made the most of that opportunity. Your wide receivers, first team, Luther Burden III from Missouri and Hayden Neighbors. Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors.
I'm sorry. I got confused like ESPN did earlier in the year. J.C. Latham from Alabama, Warren McClendon, Javon Foster, Will Campbell, and Tate Rutledge are your offensive linemen. And Van Pran, Cedric Van Pran, that is your first-team center, also from the University of Georgia, along with Tate Rutledge. And your first-team defense has some Alabama feel to it, you think. Justin Aboigbe along the defensive line.
Good for him. That guy was told he could never play again at one time.
Was he really?
Yeah, and we talked about him having the sacks, having 7 sacks.
That's right.
He ended up with a sack in the game and a couple tackles for loss. Played really good against Georgia.
Darius Robinson from Missouri, James Pierce from Tennessee, and Landon Jackson from Arkansas. Your linebackers are Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M, Dallas Turner from Alabama. Edgerrin Cooper's Texas A&M, my mistake. And Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State. Your secondary is Kool-Aid, obviously. Caleb, obviously. Terry and Arnold, obviously. The ones that don't say Alabama next to their names are Malik Starks from Georgia and Chris Abrams-Drain from Missouri. Your first-team special teams player is Will Reichert from Alabama. Your punter is Matthew Hayball from Vanderbilt. Your return specialist is Aeneas Smith from Texas A&M. Kick return is Cam Little from Arkansas. And your long snapper is Neelan Hibbett from Alabama. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout. I'll let you know who made the second-team quarterback. He did play on Saturday. He did. But I'll let you know exactly which quarterback they went with, as well as final call for phone calls next.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high, but so is average consumer debt? Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. It'll be chilly through the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Bundle up as you head out the door on Wednesday morning. We're going to start the day in the mid 30s. A mostly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. It is going to be much cooler Wednesday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Instead of the upper 50s and lower 60s that we could see on Tuesday, dropping into the lower 30s through the overnight, early Thursday morning. A mostly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show each Sunday morning at 11, presented by Freedom Marine Center on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl.
Final call for phone calls. We're live back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. So Wes asked me during the break, let's put together some audio samples from SEC Media Days. And one of the more memorable sit-downs we had in Nashville was actually when a huge storm came rolling through Nashville. This was on July the 18th, 2023. Aaron Murray and T-Bob Hebert sat down with us, to which Aaron Murray uttered...
I'm actually hoping Alabama wins so we can start getting it a little bit more even by beating them in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
We need to start chipping away at that Alabama-Georgia record over the past decade.
You're too old to get there.
Yeah, but we got to start somewhere. Give us another 10 years. We'll close that gap.
When's the next episode of Snaps dropping?
Well, hopefully soon.
Other than this right here.
We've been recording at the pool.
What does Snaps stand for?
Like center cue, like snapping the ball. Like a little CQ exchange, dude.
As long as that Auburn knows.
So Aaron was wanting Bama to win this year, and Aaron got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to re-rack as well. We heard
ask him
from
how that catch-up was doing.
It's still fairly one-sided, don't you think?
Yes.
I noticed that story as well earlier. Middle Tennessee State University is targeting Derek Mason, the former Vanderbilt coach, to be their next head coach. And on the subject of the Blue Raiders, we'll have it over our airwaves tomorrow night. In fact, we'll be inside Game Time 24 hours from right now over at the VBC. Myself and Scott Tyson will have the call of the Lady Vols taking on the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State University. We're also going to have an opportunity for you to win some tickets to the sold-out event between Auburn and UNC Asheville. We have 4 tickets to give away, including a parking pass, and we'll figure out how to give those tickets away before we get to the 13th as well. But a lot of basketball coming up this week, but some football as well. Coming up Thursday morning, there will be no Tom Abraham show. Tom is actually filling in for me on Thursday this week because I'll be in Tuscaloosa broadcasting the 3A championship game between Mobile Christian and Madison Academy, a pair of 14-0 teams squaring off down in Tuscaloosa to start off the day in what is the first full day of nothing but championship games, although you will see flag football being crowned tomorrow, as well as the 7A championship game also kicking off tomorrow night down in Tuscaloosa. So the culmination of the high school football season is here. A lot of teams trying to get to the state championship game, and this is my first state championship game that I'm going to call, and I'm pretty excited about it. But this group of Mustangs from Madison Academy, they have been a whole lot of fun to be a part of in a small way. And going through Geraldine, that was no picnic, but they were able and up for the task there, and are indeed playing for a 3A state championship. This is 10 years after they went undefeated under head coach Eric Kohu. And here we are 10 years later with Madison Academy, a chance for another undefeated perfect season coming up on Thursday.
Very hard to do, no question.
A big thank you to the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill for hosting us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long, everybody.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.